Hello, everyone. This is Betsy Worthall, your host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio. Passionate World Talk Radio is a subsidiary of Global Media Network LLC, and our mantra is to educate, enlighten, and entertain. The views of the guests may not represent those of the host of the station. Folks, I always have exceptional guests on, and today I have an exceptional guest on. Could be trouble today. You're going to have a New York gal and a New Jersey gal. That could spell trouble. With me today is Tammy Cohen, Cohen. I spell the name because there's a variety of how you could spell the last name. And Tammy Cohen is a very busy woman. She is a connector. She is podcast host of Beyond the Women Table podcast. She is a brand messaging consultant. She is founder of Women Beyond the Table. She is a connector. She loves to connect people together. She is author and writer of Text Messages to My Sons, Connecting Deeply in a World of Devices. And, folks, you know how I am about book covers. Love the book cover. And I want to welcome Tammy Cohen to Chatting with Betsy. Welcome,
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. It's so lovely to have you on. I feel like I'm talking to a fellow sister here.
Of course. Yes, us tri-state women have to stick together. That's true.
Across the river. Tammy, I'm going to ask you what I ask all the authors that come on is what motivated you to write this very cool book?
Thank you for calling it a cool book because I'm very excited about it. Text Messages to My Sons, Connecting Deeply in a World of Devices is not ever something that I planned to write. I didn't actually start out planning to write a book. How it started was when the pandemic hit and a lot of us, found ourselves shut down and business kind of stopped. I found that I had a lot of time on my hands to look into myself and take accountability for things that I wasn't really happy, about with myself, and owning up to things and looking at a lot of the beliefs I had and limiting beliefs I had and wanting to work more on myself. And I found that at the same time I wanted to share all of the things I was starting to learn because now I had really a lot of time for reading books and of thought leaders, mindset leaders, coaches. I hired a coach. I hired a business coach. I was on Mind Valley. I was doing a lot of courses, a lot of coursework, a lot of workshops, and learning some really amazing things. And I said, you know what, I want to share this with my sons because, every text I'd ever sent to them, when they were younger was a reminder or a reprimand or a command. Those are the kind of texts like, where are you? What do you want? Where, things like that. And I said, no, I want to change the tone, and I want to text them daily a message of love, inspiration. I want to share knowledge. I want to share positivity with them, and I want them just to know that how much they're loved and that they're valuable. And it became kind of an obsession, and I started doing it every day, and I'm still doing it. And then over time, Betsy, I would share with colleagues or friends, like, oh, I'm doing it to my kids, and they were like, are you kidding? That's amazing. You should put that in a book. You should write a book. So I put it into a book, but I didn't start out that way. But that was the inspiration for Text Messages to My Sons. Once I had 2 years of text messages. I worked with a professional company, and it took about 8 months to bring it from raw to all the text messages into the book as it is now to publish. So, yeah, that's basically the journey of the book.
That is really very interesting and very cool because we all text nowadays, and isn't it nice to be able to say something positive in a text, even to your son, I love you. They might think it's mushy, but they probably will enjoy it, right? To be told that they're loved, and no matter what the age.
100%.
To encourage them.
Let me tell you, 100%, because when you get a message every day that you're loved, and you're giving inspiration and you're giving positivity and encouragement, whatever goodness, light is in that message, you are truly bulletproof for the rest of the day. Your day can go sideways, but you know somebody cared enough to do this and send you a message. And I know that it helped change the relationship with my kids. I feel like it's gotten way deeper. They answer. You know, they respond with love emojis, or they'll respond with love you or great message, but they respond. Whereas before, they didn't necessarily respond, or if they did, it was with a 3-letter acronym that they didn't even know what it meant. But what's really nice is that I feel it opens up like a new relationship and a new doorway, and I just want them to also do it with their friends at some point, or their children, or I just feel if it goes out to the community, we'll raise a lot more, and we'll see a lot more people come out with light and love instead of hatred and indoctrination. Because at the end of the day, devices are neither good nor evil. They're here. I mean, they exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's the content or the message that makes all the difference. And you have to speak to the next generation and to your kids and to your family with how they're receiving information, which is through their phone or through a device. That's how people correspond. That's how they research things. That's how they find news. And, you know, we're not speaking in person anymore. Betsy, I'm sure you've been in a restaurant and noticed that people sit at the table and they have phones out.
Right.
And they're looking at their phones.
Yes.
People just aren't conversing. I grew up where everything was an in-person conversation. But that's not the way it is. So you have to learn, and you have to accommodate, and you have to figure out how to reach somebody on the medium that they're using. And that's what text messages to my sons is about. The whole book is written in text messaging format. Very easy to read. It's the only book I know out there that's actually written in text messaging format. So it's an easy read. You can go from chapter to chapter, and it's not like you're losing a story. You can't go ahead 4 chapters. That's the beauty of it.
I like the cover. How did you come up with that beautiful green? Like it just catches your eye.
Well,
cover.
I have to give the kudos to Anna Baginski, Koza Designs. She's the designer. My sons were involved with the whole, process, the journey of this book. They wrote the foreword, what these messages mean to them. And the company I was working with, they also had a design team, and I was showing my oldest son, David, some of the design options, and he was like, no, Ma, no. Let me introduce you to Anna. So he introduced me to Anna, and Anna did it, and she really got what the book was about. So it's really the iconic green, iconic text icon, on our phones, on Apple phones, that she used as the base, and then the text message itself has the title of the book in it, and the back is the same. It's, we have the back cover with the iconic text bubble. So my company that I work with on this to publish and to get it out there and to do it professionally, told me that 60% of people who buy books, it's based on the front and back cover and the overview. So I really wanted it to be eye-catchy. And Anna, because she's a graphic designer, and I say if you're going to have a book cover, hire a graphic designer because you want it to be appealing and you want it to catch people's eyes. There's so many books out there. And the green on text messages to my sons, connecting deeply in a world of devices, is very eye-catching. It's just that green, and that I have to thank the designer for that, because I didn't know what I was going to. I didn't know what I was thinking about for the cover. Actually, she showed it, and I was just like, wow. And I kept coming back to it. I asked her for other versions and other things, but I kept coming back to that because my eye was so drawn to it.
I think it's very eye-catching. Like if you're in the bookstore and you see that green, you're going to like, wow, that's catchy. Let me go over and take a look at that. There's just some book covers that jump out at you that say, come over to me, take a look. And your book cover is one of those. You and I have something in common, Tammy. During the pandemic, you said you were doing self-work, listening to people. I was doing the same thing. I was doing the exact same thing. I actually had just signed up for a course on flipping my beliefs, about myself, listening to inspiring people on YouTube and Facebook, and learning things about myself. So I could definitely understand what you were, going through, because you reach a time in your life where you're like, you know what, I need to change something. I got to improve myself. And I always tell audience, you're never too old to change. You're never too old to do self-improvement at all. And I started at the age of 60. So, and I just turned 66. And at the work every day. And I love that you had your sons write the foreword. That's so meaningful. Did they offer to do it? Did you ask them? You had to be honored that they did that.
Oh, yes. When I told them I'm going to be putting the book together, I was going to do a book, they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, really, I'm going to go for it, because I'm 61. And if you would have told me 3 years ago, like, some of the things I would have accomplished, that I was going to accomplish these things, like starting a podcast, writing a book, transitioning my business, finding a women's business network, I would have been like, what? Like 3 years ago. But I realized, like you said, it's never too late, and you could do anything you set your mind to. You just have to take the steps. And you have to work on yourself, because we're always developing, and, that's who we are. We should always grow personally and work on that. So once I started really getting into it, and I told my kids, I said, look, I think I'm going to write this first book, and I would love for you guys to be involved with the process, since it's all the text messages I sent you. They were like, okay, good for you. And I was like, listen, would you write the foreword? And they said, yeah, they would write the foreword, because they knew what they were getting out of this by receiving these messages. They knew what it meant to me. I really bared my soul in a lot of these messages, where I wanted them to understand that it wasn't them when I was mean or yelled or carried on or didn't give them what they needed. It was me. It was my shortcomings because of my limiting beliefs and my origin story. And I became more of a human to them, and I think they were just so impressed with the idea that I would actually take that step and become an author, that they wanted to help me on my journey, which is why, they also, like, I showed them the format of the book, why, they connected me with a graphic designer, why they wrote the foreword, because they felt part of that process, because I made them feel part of that process. We're sharing this journey, and they think that's what it's all about. Like the text message to my sons, I'm sharing who I am. I'm sharing that I'm trying to be better, and I think that's the best thing you can do with your kids, is be real, be real with them, and they know it, and they see it, and they understand. Like, I don't want them to have limiting beliefs that I did. I don't want them to think, because when you're a little kid and somebody yells at you, you think you did something wrong. And it's not necessarily that you did anything wrong. It just could be their mood. But you don't know that, right? So I don't want them to go through life thinking certain things either. And, I actually that was always on my mind. So I wanted to be honest and open, because now they're 30 and 28 and 23, and I figure, like you said, it's never too late. And they can take that ball and examine certain things and make better choices for themselves and change beliefs that they've been holding also. I did it, they can do it. And that's really what I want to show people with the book. So in Text Message to My Sons, at the end of every chapter, we actually have lines that say, like, try it, write a message, pull from wherever you want, or write your own message, but start writing a message, even if it's just you can send it to a friend. You could send it to anybody, but start and be consistent. Start doing it daily. It doesn't take long. It's a text. You're not writing an essay. You're writing a text. So start doing it, because you will feel good, and the person receiving it will feel good too. And you'll learn a lot about yourself along the way.
Oh, absolutely. Tammy, you and I I'm telling you, I just feel a connection to you. You're a girl after my own heart. My son is 39 now. And you know what? Whenever I did something and I felt guilty, they yelled at him for no reason, I apologized to Josh. And I think if parents would say to their children, you know what, yeah, I made mistakes. I'm not a perfect parent. and show your human side. Like, yes, I made mistakes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it affected you. But don't let that stop you from being your best self. And I think if we were just truly authentic with not just our children, but everybody. I mean, text messaging your friends, your family. How about, someone, especially, the audience knows I'm big on caregivers. How many caregivers do you know, folks, that could use a text message, hey, how you doing? I'm thinking of you today. And give a heart and a hug emoji if you want. Do you know how meaningful that is for someone? Let me tell you, I was a caregiver. It's meaningful. And it can brighten someone's day. And
to know that somebody's thinking of you.
Yeah. Yes. And, you talked about, like, going out, like the ripples. We create ripples, whether they're positive or negative. And you giving your sons encouragement, brightening their day, help encourage them and strengthen them to believe in themselves. They pass that, as you said, that positivity, that good feeling on to others. And that other person will do it to someone else. That's beautiful, Tammy. I wish I could hug you in person.
Betsy, you remember the Well of Balsam commercial? You must remember it. When we were growing up, the Well of Balsam commercial. Remember? And you tell two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Yes.
Remember, there was like a whole thing. That commercial always resonated with me, and that's what I hope happens, that you start with your family, and then it goes out to another person, and it goes to another person. And before you know it, you've spread light and love to many more people from that one start with whoever you're doing, because they start doing it, and because the person that they're doing it starts doing it. I have friends who started doing it with their children. I'm telling you, we need to spread light and love in this world, because love and gratitude.
Absolutely.
And I have a whole chapter that's mindfulness and gratitude with all the messages of gratitude. These are the highest energy frequency vibrations, these things. And hatred and anger and violence is the low level energy frequencies. So if we can raise the vibration, we can really make an impact. And this is not hard to do. It doesn't cost money to send somebody love. It doesn't do anything. It just, you can do it. And why not do it? Why take the opportunity? I look on social media sometimes, and I can't believe what's going on there. And I'm like,
right.
Why are you taking the time to be poison? Like, where are you coming from? What happened in your life that you love poison and you want to spread it? So it's like we have to change that whole story. And I feel that with the book, with Text Message to My Sons, and because it's an easy read, and because it has like all different kinds of messages and chapters that are really excellent chapters, like, leadership and focus and discipline and determination, love and family, you could find, even if you can't think of something and you're having a text messaging block, you could find something that you could pull from that'll give you an idea of what to write. That's the idea. I want to make it easy. I want to make it a guide. People are calling me and saying, I'm reading this book and I feel like it's text poetry. And I'm like, wow, that must be a new genre, text poetry. I didn't know it existed. That's so cool. Whatever people feel is making me happy, and the reviews that people are giving me and how much it means to them and how inspired they are, that's all I wanted. I just want people to pass it on, just pass on the good feeling, pass on the love.
What a ripple you are creating, Tammy, with this book, encouraging people, writing about your text messaging and how to, give people ideas how to do it, for them to do it to their loved ones, to their friends, and causing, I'll call it a circle of love, because that's what just comes to my mind right now. Circle of love and positivity. When I go on social media, and there's a lot of poison out there, as you said, I skip over that. I don't even want to look at it anymore. I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. I want to hear positive things and raise, my vibration. And I'll tell you, Tammy, it was at 60, the age of 60, that I started doing that, of being having gratitude, learning gratitude. And I can say, as I said yesterday to my son and on social media, I feel so grateful and blessed. Even though what I went through, I have so much to be grateful for. And, you could always find something to be grateful for. I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes when the world's caving in on you, but there is something to be grateful for. And I just feel very grateful and blessed, and I want to share that. I want to share my love and positivity to other people and help them. That's one reason why I do the show, Tammy, is to help people.
That's you know what? I find that you feel blessed. Like when you're giving, you feel more blessing. I can't explain it. Like when you feel you're helping somebody, that makes you feel amazing. It's the energy that comes out of that is so different than just taking, or just hating. We're meant to serve. We're meant to help other people. That's really what we should be doing. We really should be taking it upon ourselves. Every human being should take it upon themselves to be human, respect humanity, and help the next person next to them. And that's it, because I feel, and from what I've read and what I've learned, even like people who are depressed or in those kind of states, it's mostly because they don't feel connected. They don't have any sense of purpose. But when you have people who reach out to you and tell you you're worthy and tell you you're amazing, you're loved, you start feeling connected. And then when you start doing something, you feel you have purpose and you take it on to do something good. So I think we don't need medications and all these things. I think our body can produce those fabulous feelings, those dopamine highs, when we do something selfless, when we do something really good. And that's why I did it with my sons with the messages, and I put this in text messages to my sons in a book, because I want people to connect. I want them to use whatever way they can to connect very deeply, and to really be that healthy inoculation, that healthy antidote, whatever it is, way to raise somebody else's vibration and to make somebody else feel much better, feel good, feel light. I think that's what we need to do, because right now we're in a viral hate society, and I think love and light and gratitude are the inoculation against the vaccine against those viruses and bacteria that are out there of hate that are circling the globe. So that's what I think.
Absolutely. What a legacy, Tammy, that you are leaving to your readers, but to your family, to your sons. They must be so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
They must be very proud of you. It is so true. I think it was Maya Angelou said something in the prayer phase with what you said. People may not remember your name, what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And that
yes.
that is so true.
I've had true.
Yes, I have instances of that, of people telling me that. I know I have felt that way. And when I worked in a preschool, I made sure I told everybody, every child, something special about themselves every day, because I wanted them to feel good about themselves. I didn't think they'd go home, and tell their parents. I should have known. And the parents would come and say, "Oh, Miss Betsy, so-and-so was so happy that you liked their nails, you liked their clothes." And it made them feel good.
That's beautiful. That's it. Like with kids, it's so important. With kids, it's so important. First of all, kids are on phones really young. And what's happening is, statistically, I was reading this, and since 2021, 2022, people are stating they're on their phones continuously, and the kids are younger and younger getting phones. You can get that message to a young person you can change the direction of their life by telling them that they're wonderful and that they're worthy. You can change the direction of life, whatever's going on. When one person tells you that, it makes all the difference. And I really believe that you're going to grow up and be somebody amazing. You're amazing now. Everything's going to be great, and you have everything it takes. I wish somebody was there. I wish I had somebody sending me these messages when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's like it starts young, and that's why I'm like, my kids are older already, but I notice like a lot of kids are out there and their parents are messaging them on phones, and they can definitely start very young. It's kind of taking off from the message in the lunchbox. When you got your lunchbox and you opened it, and there was a message like, love mom, have a great day, and you smiled. You smiled, Somebody said something nice, you smile. You feel good. It's just a very special feeling, and it's about, it touches your heart. So we have to do more of that. And it's actually really easy to do it because the phones and these devices make it so simple. You could send a message overseas. You remember when you had to write aerograms or call somebody?
Right.
An expensive long-distance phone call maybe once a month. Now you just send it. You can send a WhatsApp anywhere, and somebody has a some beautiful message. It really makes it easy, and there's no excuse not to do it. That's how I look at it.
That's true. And, not just like text message, but, voice message, a little voice clip.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, thinking of you today. Yeah. I love you. Or, sending hugs and love to you. Something so simple, which would mean the world to someone, especially if they feel isolated. And during the pandemic, everyone felt isolated. That was a tough time. And, it caused such an effect on people mentally. Thankfully, it brought out mental health to the forefront and making it more acceptable to go for counseling. But, people, that's how they stay connected. And even if it's, if you have an elderly parent, well, they may not have the text message, but, just a simple phone call. I know it's not a text message, but just a hi. And, we lost the art of writing and like letters. Back in our day, used to have pen pals.
I love
used to write notes to each and used to write notes to each other. Right? Pass notes in class to each other.
Of course.
Back in the old days, that was our text messaging. And, notes in a lunchbox. I don't know if I did that with Josh, but I used to do that with my husband. I used to put little notes in his lunch bag, thinking of you, have a nice day, a little smiley face. And, it just really, it does mean a lot. Maybe your son or daughter or, it could be a niece, nephew, whoever, in college. Maybe they're having a rough time. What a nice thought to send them a positive message. Even encourage family to, you could send them a link to a positive video to hear someone. Be encouraging. There's just so much positive information to share in our circle of friends, and even to, family, but even to extend that out to, extended family, people on your social media. I'm with you, Tammy. I'm with spreading the love and the kindness, because I think it's needed so much now, more than ever. Definitely.
Yes, I agree. And it's funny because the Maya Angelou quote that you said, it's in the book too. I shared it with my kids in one of my messages because I really loved it. But sometimes I'll be on an interview and I'll just read a message. I'll just pick one of the messages from the book, like I open it up and whatever, because it's all messages. And I'll read one. If you'd like me to do that, I would be happy to do that and share a message.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I think, let me just open this up. What chapter is this? What chapter did I open up into? Okay, this is the chapter 5. It's growth and personal development. So here we go. I'm just opening it up. Good morning, sunshine. Now, my messages are always either good morning or good afternoon, sunshine, because I don't say good afternoon, my son. I leave it sunshine, like you are my sunshine, my only sunshine from the song. So I have the sun emoji there. So it's good morning, sunshine. I'm thinking about you, which is not unusual for me. I really like sharing things I find meaningful or profound. I wish I had someone who did this for me at any point in my life. I started to do it for myself not long ago. My mornings growing up were filled with anxiety and trauma on some days, and my young life had a lot of self-doubt and seeking external validation. This phase lasted a while, but you are the vast improvement to my life, and that is all I could ever wish for. Be strong in your belief about how worthy and amazing you are. Then I use a quote from Alan Cohen. Wouldn't it be powerful if you fell in love with yourself so deeply that you would do just about anything if you knew it would make you happy? This is precisely how much life loves you and wants you to nurture yourself. The deeper you love yourself, the more the universe will affirm your worth. Then you can enjoy a lifelong love affair that brings you the richest fulfillment from inside out. And that's quoted by Alan Cohen. And then I wrote, do you think Alan Cohen is related to us? Because our last name is Cohen too, by the way. And then I wrote, by the way, this is precisely how much I love you. And every time I write love, I have 3 emojis. I love you from the inside out. So that was like just the typical message of sharing with them, and sharing a quote or sharing something I read in a book or giving them an insight into my life, but also letting them know that they're the improvement of me. They are the improvement. They don't have to repeat me. They have to be better than that, better than me. So I think they got the gist, and it's and like I said, every message is different, but that was just one I thought that to share because it's it's how I communicate. It's how I communicate with them, and I think there's nothing wrong with communicating honestly and and sharing with your kids, your community, with your friends. People look at it as a weakness, like if you share too much or if you do this, and sometimes there is oversharing, but I think we're all human, and that's how we relate to each other as human beings, and that's how we start treating each other as human beings. That's it.
Oh, absolutely. Jeanne, I'm here for Clempt. I got tears in my eyes. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
You're such a beautiful human being. I mean, I could feel the love that with what you're saying, with your whole heart to your son. Like, I want you to be in a way better than me. I don't want you to go through what I went through. You have worth. That's what you're telling your son. And to believe in himself. I wish I had that. I wish I had that in,
right.
When I was growing up too. You grew up probably World War II, parents. I did too. They didn't show emotion except anger. They had no trouble showing anger, but showing love.
You had to eat everything.
Yes,
they show love by you eating. You had to eat. Yeah, eat everything.
And yes, but encouragement, showing love. It was scarce. Like now, I could look back as an adult and say, you know what, my parents loved me the best they knew how, with what they were exposed to. And, each generation, hopefully, we do better than the one before. People on social media, they see my son and I, we go out a lot, I have a close relationship with my son. And I knew that I wanted a close relationship with my children. I only had one son. And I wanted that close relationship. Not that we're, buddies. He knows that I'm his mom, and, there's respect there. But Josh knows that he can come to me with any problem and tell me how he feels. And this is so important for, as parents of your guardian, to keep those lines of communication open. And I think, Tammy, this is my opinion, that your book helps with that. I think it will help parents keep communication lines open with their children by text messaging.
Yes,
I really do.
I definitely, I really hope that it does that. I really hope that's the outcome of text messages to my son, that people start saying, I'm going to do this, and they can change that trajectory where their kids want to talk to them because they see them as human, they see them as somebody who can relate to them. You know, a lot of kids don't think their parents relate to them because, you know, their friends relate to them. Their parents don't get it. My kids were growing up, they were always like, relax, you don't understand. Every kid thinks like this. You don't even get it. And the thing is we do get it because we were kids once too. We grew up in another time, but we all went through this. But once you start sharing with your kids and you just do it in a simple way that they can read that text, and it starts. You have to do it consistently. Like it's not going to work well if it's here and there. Like I do it 5 days a week. You know, you have to keep communicating, even if they don't necessarily give you any deep responses. But you're planting those seeds and you're changing the trajectory. So I know that my kids they come to me when there's an issue or they need help with something. They'll come to me. I know that they respect me. I know that they love me, and I know they would do anything for me because they trust me, and I built that trust. I feel over the last couple of years even more because I focused on making sure they knew that I'm in their corner and that I love them and that they're everything and that I have a life, yes, and I do work and I do things, but they matter most. They're the priority. So I take care of myself. I'm not saying I don't nurture myself and have my routines and do my thing and do whatever. And they respect me for that. They want me. They don't want me to not be that person. But they also understand that I'm in the corner. So kids, don't take it for granted that your kids know this because you're the parent. It doesn't always work like that. What you have to understand more is that you can't. It just doesn't work like that.
That's true. And I constantly say on this show, especially I'm talking about children, to keep those lines open because if you as a parent or your guardian and you shut those lines of communication down, I'm going to tell you, folks, they're going to go to people for advice you don't want them to go to. They might even join a gang to get acceptance, to feel part of something. And you don't want that either. You know, no one's a perfect parent. There just isn't because we're not perfect people. But we can always improve. And, you know, to have your kids be able to come to you without fear of judgment is wonderful. And, you know, I encourage Josh to tell me how he feels. And to keep that open, and especially with you know, grieving his dad. Let your, you know, there, God forbid, a death in the family. Let your children tell you how they feel, and don't say, you know, be strong, because I'll tell you that, in my opinion, that's old school. Crying is okay. And that we need to teach our boys especially that it's okay to show emotion in a constructive environment. It's okay to cry over, you know, someone dying or, you know, you lost a job. That's something to cry about. To even losing a toy. Let's teach our children how to deal with their emotions. And I think, Tammy, you are on the right track. Your book sounds phenomenal. It is really I'm going to say it's timeless because of the
I hope so. I really do.
Environment. Yes, I believe it is anyone can pick it up even 20 years from now and say, wow. I mean, maybe there won't be text messaging 20 years from now, but they will know how to communicate. Because that, to me, that's what you're teaching people, is communicating, telling people how you feel. You're amazing, Tammy Cohen.
Thank you so much, Betsy. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Excuse me. You're welcome. I just love chatting with you, Tammy. Can you tell people where they can purchase your book?
Absolutely. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to do it. You can go to my website, www.tcbrand, B-R-A-N-D, T as in Tom, C as in cat, brandconsulting.com. It's also available on Amazon.com. It's up there. It's also on Amazon.ca, Amazon UK. It's in a couple of markets on Amazon. And on my social media, there's links to it too. Text messages is on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm also on Instagram and LinkedIn for Tammy J. Cohen. So yeah, that's the best way to reach me or to get the book is definitely through the website or through Amazon itself, 100%.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hanukkah is here. By the time this is posted, it's going to be past holidays. But this is a great book to pick up anytime. Holidays, graduations, they'll be made before you know it. The way time goes by so fast. Valentine's. How about giving it to a mom, a dad, Mother's Day, Father's Day? See, I think in advance.
Absolutely. I love that.
This is a wonderful, wonderful gift. How about your hairstylist? Even if someone's not a parent, I still think this book can be for anyone because of what the messages are in your book. It is for anyone. That's how I see it.
I try. It's for anybody. That's why it does. You see, it's Good Morning Sunshine. Anybody you want to send it to. It's kind of like anybody can receive these messages, and I just hope that people, want to go for it. They want to have that opportunity to spread light, to spread love, that it's important to them, that they don't say, okay, I'll do it in next year. I'll do it when my kids are older. I'll do it, just start and make it a habit.
Yes.
That's all.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this, Tan. I'll tell the audience because I'm a Jersey gal. I just tell it like it is. Folks, I'm going to tell you something because, I'm always honest with you all. And what you see, what you hear, because you don't see what you hear, is who I am. I'm at the time of my life now, at 66, that I know time goes by quick. You have to prioritize your time and do what's important. And now I'm realizing, wow, what's important. And family and love is important. What's the most important gift you can give to someone? It's not gifts. It's your time and it's your love. It's your attention.
Right.
And if you don't live near them, or even if you do and you just want to, text someone, that's showing love, time, and attention, my opinion. And I think that's just a great way to end the year, start a new year, to encourage people. Tammy, I was so blessed talking to you today. You really inspired me and lifted me up today, so I want to thank you.
Well, I thank you, Betsy, for having me on, and I loved our conversation, and thank you so much, for going there, for being open and going there, and we do what we can do. We do the best that we can. Like you said, you do the best you can. There's no manual for, this is exactly what you have to do when your child does this, or this is how you should respond if somebody does that. We do the best we can. We definitely do. We try.
Yes, and folks, Tammy Cohen, TammyCohen, author, writer of Text Messages to My Sons, Connecting Deeply in a World of Devices. Pick up a copy. I know you will be very happy that you did. And I want to thank you again, Tammy, for coming on. Folks, you could read about Tammy Cohen in the blog, so please read the blog that Jeanne White, who's station manager, writes. And Jeanne produces the show. So thank you, Jeanne White, for all you do. And want to thank Lillian Cauldwell, CEO of Passion World Talk Radio, who makes this all possible. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Thanks for listening, subscribing. If you don't already subscribe to Chatting with Betsy, It is for free on iHeart, YouTube, Spotify, Spreaker, to name a few, Amazon Music. And please share the show to help other people. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help other people. And I think when you text message someone, I love you, thinking of you, it brightens someone's day. How do I know that? Because when I get one, it brightens my day. It does. It brightens my day. And, if you know someone going through a tough time, maybe they lost someone, maybe they're a caregiver, maybe they themselves, the person you know, is struggling, and we're all fighting some kind of battle. What does it take to do an encouraging word, an encouraging message? What time does it take? Not much at all. You can even do it when you're watching Netflix or something. It doesn't take long to be a loving, kind human being. And as I always say at the end of my show, in a world where you could be anything, to please be kind and shine your light bright, because if we all did that, it would be a much kinder, brighter world. And that's all I have to say today, folks. This is Betsy Wurzel, your host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio, a subsidiary of Global Media Network LLC. Till we chat again, be safe, everyone, and show your love. Bye-bye now.